Hello, good afternoon. My name is Victor Oguinka, and you're welcome to Vanguard Live. The program is The Controversy. Okay, taking it off from where we left it yesterday, we have, in the studio with us, Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project Deputy Director, Mr. Kola Oluwadare. It's good to have you here, Mr. Kola.
I'm happy to be here,
Okay, great. Let us just hit it on with the state of the nation. There are many things happening all at once. We have issues surrounding fuel price. We have insecurity everywhere that has turned perennial now. Education is at all-time low, and many other things. What's your assessment about the present state of the nation of Nigeria?
It's something that calls for concern for everyone, including the government itself and the citizens. The citizens more so because of this feeling of helplessness that everyone feels with the news going round. Even if it's not happening close to where you are, you hear these things and it's disturbing. And also for the government, I believe they should be concerned. But for me, I'm yet to see that concern, if there is on the part of the government, translate to any kind of concrete action to stem the tide of this insecurity, either from spreading or from it occurring at all. And so this is also the transparency and accountability mechanism, or a lack of it, and the management of the fight against insurgency and insecurity generally in Nigeria.
Okay, let us talk about the activities of SERAP. It looks like a weekly thing. You're always on the tail of the government. Whenever something goes wrong, you are the red flag, that puts them back to, a reset. So how have you been going on exactly with this?
If it comes weekly, it's just a frequency of the event, and you would understand as the media outlet itself, the rate at which events unfold in Nigeria and occurrences do happen. That in playing our part as a responsible civil society organization, we are simply doing our bit in making sure that good governance thrives in Nigeria. But the state of events, it leaves much to be desired. It's from one incident of, if it's not corruption, it is abuse of office, or outright abuse of power, and some cases of outright corruption too that we see time and again. And that is why we take those initiatives to make sure that the rights of the people is not only paramount, but the activities of government translate to this importance that the citizens owe by the consumer provisions. And that is why we take up those advocacy issues, either by way of advisories, open letters, and in some instances, litigation when our advocacy overtures have not yielded enough desired fruit.
Okay, it's been a while. SERAP has been around far back as 2004, yes, if I'm right. And that's, of course, from the PDP era. I would particularly want to ask you, because we have politicians, cross-carpeting from this party to that party. But indeed, in terms of operation, would you say that there's any difference between, these major political parties in Nigeria?
Talking about political parties in Nigeria, it is best looked at from the point of administration. And since SERAP is also, we are also citizens of Nigeria, what matters is not the affiliation of parties or whatever programs or manifesto they lay claim to. I think that in rating governance or the political parties that produce the successive or public officers, it is best examining from the point of view of the citizens. What are they gains? What are the difference? And what we've seen from 1999 to this, when democracy returned to Nigeria, we've not seen much difference by way of the dividends of democracy in critical amenities like roads and water, and potable water that increase power supply, or even getting a fair amount of power, which is for what is consumed. Talk of the good schools, education, affordable education, the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. We talk about affordable healthcare too. Citizens have not seen much of a difference in that from democracy. What more context, for example, can we find, for instance, for healthcare than the pandemic, which we are currently battling with? It just brings to the fore. In practical terms, the failure and neglect of the healthcare sector in Nigeria, you can see how we barely managed to stay afloat in containing the pandemic. So, from the part of the citizen, there has been little or no result to show to differentiate between the various political platforms that existed in Nigeria. Either, and from the civil society point of view, we can look at that from transparency and accountability perspective, for instance. How transparent have been governments from 1999 till date? Yes, we've had some major achievements, which I would say is majorly in the form of a legal framework. For instance, the passage of the Freedom of Information Act, Nigeria signing on to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, and landmarks like return of stolen goods. But as to governance itself, for instance, the use of the Freedom of Information Act, have we seen an end to opacity in government? I would say no. How transparent is government? How many citizens are aware or even engaged in the various budgeting processes of their state, and even in the expenditure aspect? The Public Procurement Act is an act that has been passed for a while. Have we seen it work? The Fiscal Responsibility Act that guides the various spending of government, including the various loans that government has taken. How are they impacted on the people? How much information do we have? This year alone, SERAP has issued more than 25 freedom of information requests. How many results have we gotten by way of knowing how government runs, who has been allocated what has been spent? And what are those anti-corruption activities of individuals or public officers that have been found culpable or liable have been punished? Those are the various aspects we look at to determine whether any political platform has fared than another. And I would say, given the view from 1999 to today, I wouldn't say there's any major difference.
Okay, well, you're talking about the people. Do you think that the people are also, very alive, to understanding their rights as citizens of Nigeria? Do the Nigerian citizens know enough about what they should do, as citizens, and what they should know as citizens of Nigeria?
Citizens always duty, even by constitutional provisions, not only to be aware that we can look at the provisions of constitution and the freedom of expression, which is a two-way thing. It says you have the right to receive information and to impart, which is the twofold the right of the freedom of expression that you have. But how can citizens engage when government is opaque, when government is not willing to be open with information? So I would say that default in citizens' participation in government, which of course is adjunct to awareness, is from the government side. It is from the inability of government to include the people in the critical aspects of government, making critical information available. For instance, you can put it in context. If we have to write a freedom of information request to the federal government, as to the amount of Abacha loot that were recovered from 1999 up to date, and where we project this loot are.
Well, it looks like we lost Mr. Kola there. We'll wait for him to, to join us again. If you're just joining us, it is Vanguard Live, and of course the program is The Controversy. Looks like we have Mr. Kola back. Okay, we lost you for a minute there, Mr. Kola. If you can just pick it up from where you stopped.
I was talking about giving an example of one of the initiatives that have been taken, asking for information on the Abacha loot, how much has been recovered from 1999 to date, and how those funds have been spent. We did not get a response from the government, and we had to go to court to enforce our rights as provided under the Freedom of Information Act, and our right to information. And previously, we got a response from the Attorney General saying that mentioning those three projects, the Lagos Expressway, the Second Niger Bridge, and the Abuja Kano Expressway. Surprisingly, that's just and that relates to just one of the last strands of alleged loot that Nigeria recovered from the state of New Jersey in the United States. What about the previous ones that were up to now? And the matter is depending on court. That in itself is an indicator how government has failed to carry the people along. And it's important to mention this, that absence of transparency is not itself corruption, but it may be proof of corruption. That is why government must be open. And we have laws that regulate this. Well, information is very important in government. How will SERAP do advocacy? How will people get involved in government like you have if they don't have access to the basic of information? It just not work.
Okay, we're still going to talk about loot and the proceeds of loot and what we do to them. But I'm wondering here, Mr. Kola, all around Africa and the courts that we have, the Nigerian courts, ECOWAS, and other African courts, I'm sure that your file would be, up there among other files because, like I said regularly, you seem to have a presence in all the courts, around Africa. And from your own assessment, what have you noticed about the mode of operations of these courts from the African Union to ECOWAS to the Nigerian, judiciary system and all of those things? Is there anything that is, peculiar to the African courts?
The various international mechanisms and our municipal courts share some common thread of challenges. But our local courts have the same challenges that possibly all other arms of government have. We can talk about judicial autonomy now, that's political and financial. The judiciary in Nigeria is fully independent. What the judiciary in Nigeria wishes to be independent, but we've not seen that independence guaranteed by the Constitution in practice. And that's also at the federal and the state levels. So that critically incapacitates true adjudication of cases and speedy dispensation of state. Even in the criminal administration of justice, with the passage of the act, you would think that the criminal litigation of possibly persons said to the corrupt would have been speedy, but it's not, because there are other things that will facilitate that. What about the logistics of the courtroom, for instance? Power is a critical aspect. Our judges, most of our judges, by the way, still take a court notes in London, which you have court reporters and stenographers to do that part of the job. We have a huge workload of the judges, which hinders the practice, easy dispensation of justice. So the problems are there. Funding is one of the core aspects of that problem. And then that lack of autonomy makes some, at times, judiciary beholden to members of the executive. And then, principally, the executive fails to obey and enforce the judgment of the judiciary. That in itself sends a clear signal to weaken the strength of the judiciary. And looking at the African court mechanisms, the same challenges that we share with the municipal courts to do that of enforcement of judgment, from the African Commission to the African Court of Human Rights, even to the ECOWAS court. What are the legal frameworks that regulate enforcement of judgment? How many of those judgments have been enforced, even with the various conventions and treaties that have been signed? And is there any political will on the part of African countries to force any of those countries to obey the judgment? Unfortunately, we do not see that. So that I would say that the biggest problem across all the courts in Africa would be that disobedience to the orders of the court and lack of a clear political will to enforce those judgments.
Yesterday on this program, Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, talked about corruption, and he mentioned that until recently it has been the media, that has been leading the fight against corruption. That means that corruption has basically been fought on the pages of newspaper, on the social media, until now that we start having accountability group like SERAP and others. Beyond scratching the surface, Mr. Kola, how exactly would you say that Nigeria should tackle corruption matters?
Danny, when you say Nigerians, you'll be referring to the citizens of the government, because we are all one and the same. On the part of citizens can only do so much. There is a demand side and a supply side of corruption. But citizens can only do so much to hold government to account. When we even have mechanisms that oppress the citizens, we all have instances of the social media bill. Knowing fully well how the social media is a potent tool in holding government to account and the bring and all the uses of participating government for the people. We see the NGO bill as an act by the National Assembly trying to constrict the civic state and truncate the operations of society organizations. So citizens can only do so much in advocacy. But on the part of government, where the bulk of the job lies, the absence of the political will is the greatest problem. Yes, we have some of our laws, anti-corruption, the legal framework for anti-corruption may not be that perfect. But I don't think it's the imperfection of the laws. It's not the laws that we have as imperfect as they are, as we allow them to operate. We have the USPR, we have the Police Act, we have the ICPR, we have the various anti-corruption agencies that are empowered to a certain level to do their work. But have we seen the political will at the highest level to enable these anti-corruption agencies not only to be independent on paper, but to be able to do their work? But we see more often than not the interference of the executive office, the political players in truncating the work of these anti-corruption agencies. The government is lacking in that much needed political will to enforce the instrument of that fair approval to stamp out corruption. Of course, the corruption will possibly not remove that completely. The way we are pursuing the war against corruption in this country, will ensure that corruption is going to stay with us for a long time.
So, if there is no political will now, would you say that a government that does not have enough political will has enough respect for the rule of law and its constitution of that nation?
Of course, that's the way you say political will. The rule of law is clear. The rule of law is clearly engrafted in our constitutional provisions, in the various fundamental the aspects of fundamental rights. Do we need the executive to know that we have the General of the Federation, the chief law officer, who advises the president? Does he need to be told that the judgment of court is to be obeyed and enforced in the absence of an appeal? Does he need to be told that the judgment of the Supreme Court is supreme and not subject to any appellate interpretation? So they need to be told that the constitutional provisions guarantee the right to life, fair hearing, and freedom of expression, attack to that. So it is not the absence of those legal frameworks. It is the political will to enforce those laws in obeying the fundamental principle of the rule of law. The supremacy of the law, equality before the law. And that means you obey judgment of the court, you obey the process, and you let the system work with the process run itself. Of course, strengthening those institutions is the important part of this.
Mr. Kola, we have a constitutional lawyer as a vice president of this country. Is that not enough presence of of the constitution or respect to the rule of law in this government?
I wouldn't be able to speak as to the reason why the vice president being a senior member of the bar has not been able to do anything. I wouldn't know. But I can only speak of what we've seen as what the executive has failed to do in obeying the law of the land, either by way of judgments that have been pronounced by the court or the various legal frameworks that set out how government is to be done.
Let's talk about the cases you've won. SERAP as an organization, a lot of them, yes. You've had all of those things. How about implementation of those cases? Have you been seeing the results?
That's one of the problems and the challenges that we talk about in the lack of non-adherence to the rule of law. We have submitted ourselves to the adjudicatory process and we have the citizens. We've got to work. We've had the judges doing their best to keep interpreting the laws in our favor. But we've seen that most of these judgments are yet to be obeyed by government. For instance, we got a judgment in 2019 where the Honorable Justice of the Federal Court of Labor clearly gave what we pretend as a landmark judgment, mandating the Attorney General of the Federation to challenge the legality of the various state pension laws and to seek a recovery of the pension laws that have been unlawfully paid out. That translates to a huge amount of money, running to billions of naira. if the Attorney General will base that order and takes those steps and those funds are recovered. Presently in Nigeria, we have more than 20 states who have pension laws. And pension laws mean that governors and deputy governors earn huge pay having served their states for a minimum of 8 years for some of them, and some of them for 4 years. Particularly when you look at how pension and public officers are treated in this country. And we are yet to see that government of it. And this is the government in 2021, where we have over 5 billion naira deficit in the 2021 budget. Do you know how much that would have brought in? So do we need the Finance Act to borrow pension funds as it were? Pension that of the legitimacy belongs to the people. Do we need the government to try to lay claim to unclaimed dividends and funds in government accounts? If we can look inwards to make use of, to save these multi-year funds that have been filtered away through governance and increasing the recurrent expenditure of government, there are various avenues. And that is not one of the judgments. We have another judgment from the federal court, mandating the Minister of Power to give critical information that we've asked about the contract that has been awarded in the power sector and the various individuals that have been said to have collected money and not utilized it. Jamie, you can understand, if these funds are recovered too, it would have helped to minimize or remove the fact.
Can you hear me, Mr. Kola? Okay, looks like another timeout there from the network. But of course, I've been speaking with Mr. Kola Oluwadare, the Deputy Director of SERAP, and he has been shedding weight on exactly what it has been like working around the government corners, and some of the laws, some of the judgments they've gone that has gone their way, and the results that the implementation, the problems all around. It's been a very wonderful time. We'll just wait a couple of minutes and see if we can get Mr. Kola back before we round up the show, okay? And while we wait for Mr. Kola, let's see if we have some comments. Yes, okay, Mr. Kola is back with us. Mr. Kola, can you hear me?
You are muted. I can't hear you. You are muted.
Implementation of some of those judgments that you have gotten. But I'm very particular about implementation so that it just doesn't look like a routine. When you take this case to the court, you get judgment for them, and nothing is being done. So how do you expect to ensure that the government actually do what they're supposed to do in implementing some of these court cases?
Unfortunately, we continue with advocacy even after getting judgment on the court to ensure that the judgment, which is part of what we're doing right now, advocacy to ensure that the judgments are obeyed. When we get judgments like that, what the first thing we do is to write to the Attorney General of the Federation, and if it's the state government, to the Attorney General of the state, communicating aspects of the judgment. And when we get the surprise report of the judgment, we do send them across to the Attorney General of the Federation.
Okay, let's talk about COVID-19 vaccination, the AstraZeneca vaccination that we have in Nigeria. You must have been following what different countries, are saying about the side effects of that, and the numbers of those that seem to be saying no and putting, a hold on the distribution of this vaccine is increasing. That is exactly what we have also in our claim. Now, what do you think Nigeria should do about AstraZeneca vaccination? Just like some countries are making very hard decisions right now. What would you? I know you're a lawyer, but I'd like to hear what you think should be done on this one. Okay, very bad reception we have there, and of course we are at the tail end of this program. With Mr. Kola Oluwadare, the Deputy Director of SERAP, and we, of course, it looks like it's a very good place to end the program right now. And if you're just joining us, it is Vanguard Live, and the program is The Controversy, talking about very serious issues going on in, across the federation, and looking at very, very important personalities shedding their weight and on the issues surrounding us. If you can catch up with the program on our social media platform, on Facebook and on Twitter, and of course on our YouTube channels, or of course you can also get the full news on our website, www.vanguardngr.com. Okay, and looks like we are going to take a parting shot from Mr. Kola, and if we cannot, looks like that. Mr. Kola, you're back.
I lost it. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so very quickly, we are almost coming to the end of the program. So, what do you think about the AstraZeneca vaccination?
As I mentioned, with the various information we get around, it's clear to get clarity as to what is what, the real objective view on this vaccine. So what I would expect the government to do is to ensure that the report, whether it's validated or discredited, using scientific means. But I don't know whether we have that resources in-house, that human resources competent to determine that. I would expect government to do that. But I cannot ascertain whether those claims are true or not.
Okay, on a final note, and as short as it can be, would you say that there will be a better Nigeria someday?
Of course, yes, we believe. If we don't, we wouldn't be doing it, and I wouldn't be doing it. Yes, of course. We remain optimistic, not because we have to, but because we should, and it's very certain possible that Nigeria will do the better.
Yeah, optimism is the word, and that is from Mr. Kola Oluwadare, the Deputy Director of SERAP. It's very good to have you here, Mr. Kola. Thank you for your time, and we hope to do this some other time. And we wish you the best of luck in getting implementations and more judgments on your pursuit of having a better Nigeria. And that's how we'll call off the show today. And join us same time tomorrow for another interesting personality as we'll take on the controversial issues. Bye bye now.